My name is Gemma Price and I am a boxing coach and part of the coaching and management team at Llanrumney Phoenix Boxing Club. I'm also a female inspector with the British Boxing Board of Control in Wales. So my role within the boxing club is to make sure that our young boxers are mentally and physically okay. We do a lot of work around well-being with them as well as their boxing. We've got an amateur setup and we've got a professional setup. So we've got a number of professionals that train within the gym under Gary Lockett. Our amateur classes are full, so we work from age 6 up to, there is no upper age limit, and we do 3 classes a night for 3 nights a week.
So what does your week look like, a typical working week look like for you?
It's busy. Our typical working week is busy. So alongside the amateur stuff, we do lots of work for children who are at risk of exclusion from school. We do work with children's services. We work with homeless people, using boxing as the tool of engagement. But to be honest, a lot of the time boxing is the smallest part. That's the part that gets them through the door. It's the part that is quite exciting for them to come into a boxing gym, and sometimes you can train alongside the professionals. Is a really, really good way for us to get people through the door. But a lot of the work that we do is around the life change, the conversations that we have, the mentoring, the understanding of people and making sure that they're mentally well as well. I think with boxing there's, yes, a lot of it is the physical side, but there's also quite a lot mentally that people don't tend to see as much. So we like to make sure that all of our members that come through our door, whoever comes to work with us, that they have the best of both worlds. So they get the physical side of their well-being and mentally they're okay as well.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing on last week with the fight with Claressa Shields being in Cardiff?
Yes, so I'm a female inspector with the British Boxing Board of Control in Wales. So my role was to look after Claressa Shields, which from Wednesday onwards was such a busy week. So Wednesday I went to do a check weight with her, and then she went off to do the public workout. Thursday was press conferences, and then Friday was the actual weigh-in. So myself and some of the other board members were there to weigh all the boxers in, and then Friday was the face-off as well. So that was good actually to see Cardiff on a big stage. So in Cardiff we don't tend to get a lot of the really big fights. We get quite a lot of the small hall promoters, which equally are as good because they're giving the youngsters and the up-and-coming boxers a really good platform to box on. But it's not very often we get the big stars of boxing. So it's kind of all eyes on us. So there was a lot of pressure to make sure we were doing our jobs properly. And then Saturday night was show night. So I arrived at the arena at 4 p.m. and was with Claressa from roughly around 7 p.m. until she went to the ring. And then my role while she was in the ring was to stand in the corner and make sure that everything was above board. And yeah, just generally make sure that she was okay, she was supported. And yeah, it was an interesting, it was the most probably interesting week of my life because you really learn a lot about people. And yeah, it was good fun.
Do you think it's a very different environment for women in boxing at like a pro and amateur level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a massive difference. It's still such a male-dominated sport. And I think, yes, it's good that we've got these really big females coming through now. Your Claressas, your Katie Taylors, you've got the Savannah Marshalls, you've got the Lauren Prices, all coming through and showing women actually there is a way in the sport and there is a place for us. It doesn't help when you do have some people that are really quite stuck in their ways and they're saying that there's no place for women in boxing, when actually there is. You've got the likes of Nicola Adams, Michaela Mayer, these kind of people that have done the Olympics, have done the amateurs, have then turned pro, just to show the young girls that are looking to get into the sport that there is a way and it can be done. Yes, it's a little bit more difficult. I know I'm the only female official in Wales. So for me, I'm completely in the male-dominated area. The gym, which I work in, is completely male-dominated. Yes, we've got a female class. That's once a week. But as far as female boxers and people who want to box, we've got one. So it is there's still a lot of work that needs to be done to make women feel like they're valued within this space.
Do you think boxing can do something special for women? Do you think it can be an important tool?
Yeah. I know for me it probably saved my life, because I was in such a bad place, and I was given the keys to the boxing gym and told, just go and beat out whatever anger you've got inside you, because this is not you. And I thought, I remember the first time I put the gloves on. So boxing's always been something that myself and my dad have watched. I remember being like 9 or 10 and watching the big Frank Bruno, the big Lennox Lewis fights, Steve Collins, all of those kind of old school boxers. And I was like, this is like, that was always our thing, and it's always been something that I've absolutely loved. So for me, I put the gloves on, went to the gym. I think I laughed, I cried, I screamed, I punched the bags, and the release that I got was just like, yeah, this is brilliant. And I thought, if I feel like this, there's got to be other women that feel like this. And it turns out there's a lot of them. There's a lot of women that can feel quite empowered in this space. And we work with some really, really tough young people who are pretty much last chance before prison is an option for them. And we know that by bringing them into the gym, making them feel part of a community, giving them a focus, as well as that kind of discipline that actually you're making the wrong choices, you need to start looking at the right choices, and just coming alongside them, that we see huge life change with people. And it is purely down to the sport of boxing.
So have you got many females here now? You've talked a little bit about the class. What is that like in comparison to the men's class? So
the hardest thing I think for the women's class is the numbers fluctuate weekly, because obviously as women we've got roles of mum and going to work and caring for people and making sure dinner's done and all that kind of stuff that I think men don't really have to worry about as much. So we've got probably a team of about 30 women that train at any given time. They do a class on a Tuesday, and some of them then come along on a Thursday and do the mixed class. For some women, they like just the women's only class. It's equally as tough as what our normal amateur class is. It's not like we kind of water it down at all. They do box. The option for them to spar is there if they want to. For a lot of them, they enjoy the fitness side of it. So, it's a good class. And when you see women come in who lack confidence and who lack self-esteem and who are really quite shy and nervous, the kind of environment I wanted to create was a really welcoming one. So when everybody steps through the doors of the gym, like, oh, this is really nice. And to see women form friendships, and those friendships kind of escalate outside of the gym. They meet for coffee, or look after one's kids while somebody goes and does something. They've created that kind of community within the community of the gym, which for me is what it's about.
Do you have women bringing kids here as well when they're training?
Yeah. So I was a single parent setting up the women's class, and I never wanted childcare to be a barrier for anybody to want to train, because we all know how valuable physical activity is to us for our mental well-being, our physical well-being. We've had numerous amount of kids that come and they sit around the side of the walls and watch their mums train. Sometimes they just bring an iPad and sit in the office and they're out of the way. One little boy learned to count to 10 whilst he was here. He was like 3, so he was counting all of the punches with his mum, which was really, really nice. For women to know that they can come and they don't have to worry about childcare is a no-brainer, really. I wouldn't want anybody to think that they can't come because they've got nobody to watch their kids.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Girls Empowerment Programme that you've started? So
we find that the boxing gym is a really good place to bring out kind of somebody's confidence and really raise their self-esteem. So I put together a programme based around experiences that I'd been through and how I felt at certain times in my life. I'm the mum to 2 daughters. They're 19 and 15. So I kind of knew there was lots of issues going on around the area with young girls and lacking confidence. We get messages to our Facebook page all the time. My daughter really needs some help with this or with that. So let me just put a programme together to kind of bring all of that together. So I created a 6-week empowerment programme. So we use boxing as the first 45 minutes, which is really good because the girls hate getting sweaty and all you hear is, my hands smell from the gloves, but it is what it is. And then we do a 45-minute workshop looking at self-confidence, self-esteem. We've looked at the use of social media and how sometimes that can hinder young girls, because obviously they see these Instagram models and these influencers who are not really influencing anything apart from negative emotions in young girls, because they're highly filtered, they're highly airbrushed, and that's not reality. And when you've got a young girl saying to you, I'll never look like that, is actually, well, you don't need to look like that because you're beautiful as you are and you are your own person. And it's just that kind of thing of letting them know that they're enough and who they are is enough and that they matter, because they get so overlooked with everything else that's going on. It's just a nice time for them to share with other young girls how they're feeling in a really safe space, with somebody that can help them move past how they're feeling.
Amazing. What do you see as the future of women's boxing in Wales?
Wales is still really small. We've got the likes of Gemma Price, who won gold at the Olympics, and she's actually flying the flag, I think, for the standard of women's boxing in Wales. There's still not enough women boxers coming out of Wales. You think of Rosie Eccles, you think of Gemma Price, you think of Helen Jones, but they're pretty much the only ones that you can think of who are taking it to that higher level. I think gyms need to be more encouraging of having young women and girls in the gym. They've got as much right to be there as anybody else, and encourage that and really, really nurture their skills and abilities, and let's push them and let's get more women in Wales. Let's get gyms full of girls, and they've got as much right to be there as the boys have, and actually they're really hard working. I know when we started a girls class, the guys were like, really, Jam? Really? Girls in the gym? And then I bought pink gloves and they were like, what are you doing? I was like, I just want them to feel like they're part of something. And actually our women's class now is probably one of their favourite classes, to be honest, because they are a good laugh, the girls, and they work hard. You ask them to do something and it's done. And they work hard. Yes, they have a bit of a gossip, but they enjoy it and they train hard, they work hard, they keep coming back week on week on week. We've had some women that have been with us for like 8 years who just come and train and enjoy it, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in Wales, and that goes for Welsh boxing, that goes for professional boxing. There's so much work that needs to be done.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you've seen this place, Llanrumney Phoenix Boxing Gym, change over the years and what your role has been in that?
Yeah, so we started in a 20-foot hut. So we could have about 10 people in the gym at any given time. We started the gym in 2008. And pretty much by 2010 had outgrown it. We were turning young people away, which was something we've never wanted to do, because we know how much boxing can help people. We know the life change that can come from it. So we looked at looking for a bigger building. The council gave us extra land on the hut, and they were like, you could knock it down and rebuild if you want to. But we're just a community boxing club. Like, we haven't got money to completely rebuild a new building. So the building we're currently in was coming up with Cardiff Council. They wanted to offload the building. It wasn't being used for what it was supposed to be used for. So we put a business plan together and we approached Cardiff Council and we asked them if we could take the building on. We had to present to Welsh Government, we had to present to the community to kind of show them our vision for the building and what we wanted to do. And I know we always wanted to make it like a community hub. We wanted it to be the heart of the community, so anybody can come here for help and support outside of boxing as well. And first and foremost, we are a boxing gym. We're probably one of the most recognised ones, I'd say, in Cardiff at the moment, just purely because of everything that goes on. But yeah, we took this building on in 2017 and it's just gone from strength to strength. We've got waiting lists of kids wanting to come in. We don't overpopulate our classes because with boxing it's such a skill, and if you've got 60, 70 people per class, you're not teaching anybody anything. So we kind of keep our classes a bit smaller, purely based on we want them to learn the best, the skills, the technique. We want them to have chances of sparring. We want them to be able to say, right, now I want to compete. And yeah, we've got a really, really good team of people. There's 5 coaches here. There's myself, Tony, Paul, Steve, Louis, and Sean. There's 6 of us. And yeah, we've got a good team. Everybody brings different experiences. My background is family engagement and social and emotional well-being and mental health. Tony's is youth work. Clarky and Steve are ex-army, so they bring that level of discipline in that sometimes the kids within our area need. We get approached by schools all the time. We've got this child that's acting out. Can you have a word with them? And what we do, even though boxing is quite an on your own kind of sport, we are a team. And we instill that into the kids because yes, you come and you box and you fight on your own, but actually we're all here to back you up and you are part of us. So you might box on your own, but you're part of a team that will do watch out for you and you represent us when you're in the community. So even some of the most troubled kids who get themselves into so much trouble outside are now really, really starting to turn themselves around because they know we'll be on them if they absolutely mess around, because we're not making ourselves look stupid putting our time into you if you're going to go and act that way out on the street.
Lastly, can you tell me, what does boxing mean to you?
It's my life, I think. It really is. Like, all my friends say to me, you're always in the gym. I'm like, where else would I be? I absolutely live and breathe this stuff. And I think because I owe so much to it for what it's done for me, I think that's where my love and my passion come from. I know without the gym, I probably wouldn't be here now. And that's being quite honest. I probably wouldn't be here. This has given me drive. It's given me focus. I went to uni to do a sport management degree to be able to turn the gym around. We're in a really, really good place. We've got lots of projects happening. We secured lottery funding, so Tone and I are here full time. And yeah, when you just see that you've helped somebody and you've got somebody that's come to you that's really, really on the floor probably, like they've got nothing, and you just use the skill of boxing and the world and the atmosphere and the environment that we've created here, you do see that change. And I think boxing is seen as quite a violent sport, or people are like, oh, it's just fighting, or it causes this or it causes that. And they've obviously never stepped foot in a gym, because this is probably the safest environment and the most supportive and encouraging environment that you can be in. And we're really lucky we've got some of the pros here as well. So we kind of use their stories of dedication and commitment and their diet and all the kind of stuff you've got to put into becoming a professional. We use that with some of our youngsters that are kind of going off the scale a little bit, just to bring them back in. And we had an instance last week where I was watching the press conference I was watching the public workout on my laptop, and we work with a little primary school, and they seen Reece and Gary in the ring. They're like, what are they doing on the TV? They were here last week. I'm like, yeah, you can watch them Saturday night on your TV at home. And when they see that, it just makes it so much more real. And we train with these guys every day, but when they see them and they're on the big screen and they watch them on TV, it's another world for them. They feel part of something that's so special.